just been diagnosed.
How does it feel being a published author?
It feels unreal and actually good because it's finally here. It's been so many months that I've been waiting for it to come.
When did you start the project?
I actually started in May, which isn't that long, but there's so many elements to it that I had no idea, obviously.
Did you know in May that you were going to write a book?
Well, I've actually known that I'm going to write a book for a couple of years, but in May, I decided that this is it. I'm writing a book, and this is the book that I'm writing.
Why is this book so important to you?
Because it's a positive book, and it's real, and it's got the voices of so many people who know kids with autism, and it starts from the distress at the beginning, and by the end you realize from people with autism or adults or parents of adults that, you know what, things work out.
How have you been exposed to autism?
I have 2 sons with autism. Both my kids have autism. They're 7 and 8. And at the beginning it was tough with my first one, but with my second one it was like, okay, if he has to have something, I guess it's good that it's autism and not something else that I have to learn about all over. So with my second one, I just hit the road running. And it's been quite a journey, but they're both doing well now, and we were able to do what I've always wanted to do with the kids. But it took some time, it took work, it took planning, it took being purposeful and being really committed to what I wanted for us.
What would you say to someone who just received a diagnosis today? What would you say to them?
It's to take their time to let it sink in and to just go through those initial hardships, because it is hard. And you need to go through it so that you can come out at the other end and be ready to just do what you have to do.
How old was your son when he got the first diagnosis?
He was 2.5, which was early for most people, but I pushed for that, and it worked out very well for me to be diagnosed that early.
What led you to reach out for the diagnosis, or what was it? 2.5 is a young child, so what was it that spoke to you as a mother?
I don't know, I always say, you have this feeling that something isn't quite right, but you don't know what it is. I had no knowledge of I had vague knowledge of autism, Rain Man, but I didn't know anybody with autism at the time. But I just had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. And then I read an article in a parenting magazine, and it sounded just like him, because to us, he looked at us, he would come to us, but still there was something, and I couldn't tell what it was.
Black History Month just ended. What do you have to say?
Oh, Black History Month and autism, it's kind of, Black people have a complicated relationship with autism, because there's a perception that autism doesn't happen to us. And especially amongst Africans, it's seen as something that happens in the West. And when it does happen with Black people, whether in the West or in Africa, it can be very isolating, because they don't realize that there are so many other people whose kids also have autism. And that's the extra challenge that Black families have, in addition to all the other challenges that every family of a child with autism has.
I'm curious to hear some words from the book.
Oh, from the book. All right. I'm going to read just this one thing that I think every parent needs to know. It's from the 3rd chapter in the book. And it's just in the middle of the chapter. As a parent, you are the ultimate expert when it comes to your child. You are the captain, and everyone who works with your child is a crew member. Although you must consult different professionals, each an expert in their field, you as the captain must make the final decision. In order to give directions, the captain will need to know exactly what the destination is. The crew of professionals working with your child will act as the local guides along the way, but they should not attempt to tell you what your final destination should be. Only you know where you and your family are heading. Nobody knows your child quite the same way as you do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nzula. Congratulations on your published book. Looking forward to your launch. It's going to be April
21. April 21st at 7 o'clock at Lespas Beaconsfield. And it's all on the website, drsazini.com.
And how can I get a copy of the book today?
Today, you can get it from the website, drsazini.com/shop. And soon it will also be available on Amazon.